Well, I'm making this video because I wanted to share what happened with me at the voice auditions in LA. My family was very supportive of me going down there, and I thought it was pretty crazy, but I went, and it was definitely an experience. I got in line and probably got there around 1:30 or something, and there was a pretty decent line, but it didn't go around the building, so that was good. I was all by myself, and we stayed in line for about an hour and a half. There were some people that were playing guitars and singing their songs, and we were eating lunch, and I saw some really fabulously, if that's a word, interesting people who were creative, and the way that they looked and carried themselves, and that was probably my favorite part of the whole thing, was just to see so many creative people line up for a chance to share their gift. So that was fun. The line went into the convention center and up the stairs, and then once we got through security and everything, we went, and it was pretty quick after that, we went into these big rooms and were sectioned off into groups of 10s. And then we were taken into another room to sit there and wait for our line to go line up against the wall until they're ready for our group to come in. I got to chat with some people, met a couple people who had some like classical opera training, which was cool. I met another gal who this was her second time auditioning, and just excited about trying to make it. And I was starting to get a little nervous because I didn't know what song I was gonna do, and I was nervous about my words, and it is nerve-wracking. You're there for a few hours. I got there at 1:30. I didn't get out until 5, and so you have all this time to think about stuff. And but those nerves are kind of silly because it's pretty quick once you get in there. When our row went in, we had 2 people sit at a desk, and I think they didn't really talk very much together. I'm not sure how they were communicating, but they had their computers open, and they had our information, and we sat in like a semicircle, and she called me up first, and so I got up and stated my name and where I was from and what I was going to sing. And so I sang. I didn't really look at the casting director people. I just sang my song, and then she said, "Thank you very much." I sat down. There were other people who sang. And they all did fine. They all did good. There was one gal who was really good. You could tell she was professional. She did a great job. And there was another gal who had a very unique voice, country-ish voice, and something I have never heard before. And she was on pitch, which was good, and it just kind of got all of our attention. So once everybody was done, the gal at the desk said, "Well, there's some good voices in this group, but unfortunately, we are only going to choose one person from this group." And unfortunately, there was like, "Oh," and all these things, but everybody clapped for each other, and everybody was very kind. So the person that they chose was the gal who was very unique in her voice. And so anyway, and that was it. I didn't talk to anybody after that. We were done, and we went down the stairs and went out, and I went to my car. And, it was an emotional day. Thankfully, I was able to get out of that because I didn't put a lot of my value on who I was necessarily into that experience. It was hard for me to be rejected because I work on my voice all the time. So I thought, well, but that just wasn't what they were looking for. And it was hard for me. I was like, okay, now what? What am I supposed to do now? If they don't, if I'm not meeting the standard, then, where can I sing, and who's going to appreciate my voice? You start thinking those thoughts and stuff. But it was interesting because when I was in my car or going to my car, I heard somebody's voice in the garage. And it has great acoustics in there. But it reminded me, everyone who was in that line, and that line was going to go, they were going to go until midnight. It was so long. But each one of them who was auditioning had a dream. And each one of them had a voice that they wanted to be heard. And so this person was singing in the garage, and it was echoing. And I was like, that person too wanted to be heard. And then I got in my car, and, I was talking to my parents, and this lady was singing, it might have been a Joni Mitchell song, I can't remember, but her voice was really good, and she wanted to be heard because she was singing in the garage really well and really loud. And she went in her car, and I smiled at her, and she smiled back, and we just knew that, we had something that's been given to us that we want to say something, and we want our voices to be heard. And I really wasn't the only one. There was just so many of us, which was kind of sad because, it can be disappointing when you're not chosen, but you have to kind of come out of that and just go, who am I? And, my value can't be wrapped up around my voice, but I can use my voice for good things and influence the people that I'm around. So I finally got to that place after a day or two of doing stuff. But anyway, that's my story, and I thought maybe I'd sing my audition song so that you can hear what I sounded like, just for fun, and then that's it. So I auditioned with Brave by Leona Lewis, and this is what I sang. You can trust so easily. I can't give you all of me. Still you're holding on when you should be gone. I wish I was that brave. You go to fight for love like a soldier. I wanna run away. You're never scared to walk through the fire. I wish I had your faith. I turn away, knowing my heart could break. I'm so afraid to fall and surrender. I'm not brave. I'm not brave. There you go. That's what it was. All right. Bye.